we are going to the final chapter for this subject, which is the GIS visualizations. After we learn all of these processes, the modeling, the data, and so on, the final product that we want to produce is a map, okay, as our output. So it's very important for us to know what kind of good maps, how to have what kind of elements in the map, how to create good maps, and so on. So go this one. So in GIS visualizations, visualizing large information interactively is the most effective and useful GIS capabilities. Okay, normal papers will not do that, but GIS can do that. So the ability to create the multiple perspective would enhance the viewer's perspective abilities to understand the phenomena that being studied. So the advantage of the GIS from the traditional paper maps, where GIS is fully interactive, you can zoom, you can also take advantage of the computation intensive functions such as using the 3Ds and so on and blah blah blah. So the thematic maps are spatial representations of the measurable things such as statistics and numbers. Okay, so example for the meteorology maps, so we have the isobars, the isotherms, where the themes is the weather or climate, and the maps represents the interpolated points measured, so interpolated using the surface interpolation. Okay, the themes is the weather, so the attribute are the temperature or something like that, and every map it shows one attribute to another attribute. Okay, so these are the examples of the maps that you can see here. Different kind of map. It must be nice, informative enough. They have beautiful colors. Colors must not block and so on. So general considerations in doing the map, you have to know your audience, where different levels of expertise will determine the level of your design or level of information details. You have to get your point across. Make sure dominant visual features relate to the purpose of the maps. Try to avoid unnecessary bells and whistles or disruptions. Avoid distractions in the formations. More information, not better. And strive for visual balance, where you use the space of the display to the fullest and avoid large empty areas. When the good map design should be suited to the need of the map user, must be easy to use, accurate, present information without error and distortions. It must be clear, legible, and aesthetically pleasing. It should be thought-provoking and communicative, and it must be beauty, where the beauty of symbols, colors, layout, and the typographic appearance. It must be beautiful. That's an important one, beautiful. So there are some perceptual considerations, such as the graphic elements. If you want to have the point, line, and areas, you have to make sure what you want to use. And the classes of symbols, what are the points where you want to use points, line, and areas to emphasize what. It's very important to know about this. The visual variables that you want to use, shape, size, orientation, color, value, and texture based on the themes of your map. Very important. Alright, the texture, different orientations, the arrangement, not only color, you can use the texture, you can use orientation to make a variety of the classes and easy identification. So you have to know about the visual perceptions of the map, where perceptions of and the immediate discriminatory response or impression, spontaneous impressions, or to an object which presented to the viewer. Therefore, if you want to come up with a map, if all symbols look equal important, the perceptions that can be they come out from to the viewers, it's called associative. However, if the group of symbols can be easily distinguished, you can see different shapes, different sizes, so it could be selective, where people will look into the bigger to the smaller one. If any of other objects can be distinguished, there are orders, importance can be distinguished, therefore the perceptions are ordered. And if the order in terms of amount can be distinguished, so therefore it was called quantitative. And of course, in creating a maps, there are different map forms. One of it is the choropleth maps. It's very simple one. So where each spatial unit filled with the uniform color and pattern, and appropriate for data that be scaled or normalized. Okay, such as this. This is the choropleth maps, and we have the isopleth maps. So the data is not aggregated to the predefined units. Okay, either could be lines of equal attributes or range of the similar attributes, where it is best to use to represent the continuous area, something like this. This is the isopleth maps. You can see the contours to show from the higher to the lower value. And we also have this proportional symbol maps, where these maps scale icons according to the data they represent, okay, but not depend on the size or the spatial unit associated, something like this. Okay, we can make a quantitative associations based on the size of the icons. Or you have the dot maps, where it used to represent themes that are very smoothly over space but are not discrete, and it will create a visual impression of density, yeah, by placing a dot or some other symbols in approximate locations. Okay, and it should be used for raw data only, not for the normalized or expression of a ratio. Okay, so something like this, where you can see it also tells you about the population as well as the density of the population based on the area. And other graphic outputs can be used, such as a bar chart, pie chart, scatter plot, and histogram. And in order for you to come up with a map, the selection of data is very important, where a vital task in creating effective graphics is to filter the vast field of data into units that are simple to be understood but detailed enough to convey useful information. So the primary considerations, the audience for whom the display is created. We go back to the first rule of the map. Who are your audience? So the designer should carefully select those themes or variables that most appropriate for the communication of ideas. Example, if the audience is a GIS specialist, the display of highly detailed information is more important. For public presentations, only data that is immediately relevant and clearly understood should be included. So you have to generalize the data, where visual generalization techniques involve aggregating objects as scale is decreased, such as transforming 10,000 buildings into an urban area, then into a dots as the geographic region's display is increased. And in doing the visualizations, we do have the selective eliminations, where less complicated display while maintaining the visual informations for recognition and understanding. Okay, and of course we have to have these data classifications, where selections of which units to be higher or lower class, and distribution of the classes among the remaining classes, where they have two common classification data, either quantiles or equal intervals. For the quantiles, it classifies data into certain numbers of categories with an equal number of units, while equal intervals sets the range value in each category equal in size. So the entire range of data values, which maximum and minimum, is divided equally into defined number of categories. And other important visuals such as shapes and textures, as well as the density and also the size of the icons. For the legend design, okay, the often overlooked aspect of good design is the usability of the legends. Legends not only to show the informations, but it's also good to trying to give a good design of the map. Items in legend should appear as similar to the icons, which refer size, shape, color, texture, and other variables. Legend should be compact, well organized. In general, area features that group together, and annotations should be included in the legend, which should be self-contained and large enough to explain the icons on display. Do not put paragraph on it. Must be a short and simple words, and good enough to explain the whole idea of the map. And text on the display, the choices of type, style, form, size, color, and placement are the key in designing of a legible and organized display. So for the font, fewer type style is better. Do not have more than 3. Style differences like hue differences best to distinguish nominal differences such as black, gray, dark gray, and more. And good type style choices are easy to read, not detract or distract from the message. Do not use fancy fonts for this. Please use the boring, the common, the formal fonts. Yeah, and fonts type styles can be many forms: bold, italic, light, upright. Okay, can be used to differentiate between the elements. And size, do not use smaller than 8. Please use a bigger fonts adequately. And do not use more than 3 sizes of the same type styles and form of the same map. And there are placement as well. Okay, placement, names must be entirely on the land or water. There are no in between. Lettering should be oriented to match the map orientation. Types should be not in curve unless necessary. For the water, yes, you can use in curve or along the water, along the river shape. This oriented letter should not be a straight line or should have a slight curve. And name should in letter space as little as possible, not white spaces between the letters in the name. And for the map layout, some conventions on what to include, such as a title. It must be clearly state what the map shows, relevant data, sources, missing values, authors, blah blah blah. A legend, so any readers can interpret the content of the map and meaning of all symbols and colors. Scale indication, which is translate distance on the map to distance on the ground. Orientation indications, border and knit lines. So main map elements such as map face, knit lines, or border informations, not indicator. Marginal information will be the title, legend, location, sheet history, and insets. So these are the good layouts can be used. Make sure that the map must be balanced. There are no obvious empty spaces, and it must be balanced. Okay, so these are the examples you can see here, and these are the examples. You can see how well and informative the data, the placement of the map will be used. That's all, and thank you very much. Congratulations finishing this subject. Thank you.